Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Hope we all had a wonderful weekend, and hopefully we have an amazing weekend on the way. But I will tell you, some of us are going to have to dodge some storms this weekend, some of which could become quite strong to severe. So that'll definitely be the big focus of this weekend, as well as the ongoing heat wave for millions of Americans. And more of us will begin to get in on that action as we go over the next 24 to 48 hours. So again, pretty active weekend coming up, and I'm going to try to make this video pretty short just because I got somewhere to be here relatively soon. But I'm definitely going to give you all the information that I think is important. This will just be kind of in a condensed manner. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So again, this big old ring of fire you've heard plenty about still working its way here across the country. You can see kind of these bigger blobs of clouds are these areas of thunderstorms that are kind of moving on along this ring. So again, if I kind of draw this semicircle here, you can tell what I mean by these areas of storms just riding along that ring. And kind of where we don't have those storms is where we have the heat wave. And this is right under that high pressure where the skies are sunny. There's plenty of warm Gulf air being advected northward. And again, it just feels very muggy and uncomfortable for a lot of folks there throughout this kind of dome of high pressure and heat. So taking a look at current conditions out there and current alerts, again, all of the rain is centered around this high pressure. So kind of in this kind of semicircle I have drawn here is where you have the chance of seeing those afternoon storms, and that will slowly continue to push east through this weekend. So places further to the east will begin to get on that action of those rounds of storms. Now, in terms of current watches and warnings, plenty of excessive heat warnings, heat advisories here for those areas under that dome of high pressure for just about all of Mississippi, much of Alabama, much of central and western Tennessee, much of Arkansas, even up through Missouri and into the St. Louis area, seeing a lot of that big-time heat currently. Luckily, for some of you, this will begin to subside a little bit as we've seen back towards the Dallas area. We're now outside of those heat advisories and excessive heat warnings as this high pressure is slowly shifting off to the east. So taking a look at tomorrow for our Saturday, we're going to have, again, an area of the chance of seeing some of those stronger to severe storms. And once again, I could pretty much just draw a semicircle here around this high pressure. This is where we're going to see it, but specifically in this kind of pocket here from St. Louis over towards Indianapolis, back down towards Cincinnati, much of West Virginia, the Western Carolinas, Western Virginia, and just about all of Tennessee really has the highest chance of those strong to severe storms tomorrow afternoon. And again, this could be anywhere in this circle. Unfortunately, these things are really just kind of difficult to predict the exact timing and placement. So I would really just go off of these general maps and, excuse me, again, kind of the higher up you are into the color threshold here, the higher likelihood you have of those strong to severe storms. And as we go into our Sunday, more of the same, but Sunday will be a little bit different. We'll have a little bit more of a defined low pressure system kind of tracking here. So I think Sunday could be a pretty big time severe weather day, maybe even more than Saturday in my eyes, at least in terms of organized severe weather for a big area. In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised to maybe see a couple of tornadoes on Sunday here through kind of the southern Indiana, southern Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia areas as this low pressure sweeps on through, having a little bit more wind energy to work with and still feeding off of plenty of unstable air. So Sunday, as I'll show you in the next model, could be quite a dangerous day. And we'll start, though, with tonight and tomorrow. So tonight, again, expect these rounds of these storms to continue to kind of fire along this ring and continue to slowly push off to the east and southeast, depending on what part of that high pressure these are riding on. But going into tomorrow morning, expect some scattered showers and storms for plenty of folks here into the sections of the southeast from Georgia, Alabama, even into the Carolinas and Tennessee tomorrow morning. Now, as we get into tomorrow afternoon, we could see, again, lines of storms anywhere in those risk areas. So anywhere from Illinois all the way to the Carolinas has that chance. And I know that's kind of sounding like the easy way out as somebody telling you the weather forecast. Sounds like I'm just trying to, cover all my bases here so I'm not wrong. But unfortunately, that's really all we know. Somewhere inside of those slight risks, marginal risks, and enhanced risks are going to see severe weather. We just can't really pin down exactly where, just because these are pretty difficult to forecast. So I apologize that the science isn't quite that far along yet, but what I can tell you is nonetheless be prepared for that chance. And again, going into Sunday, though, I do feel a little bit more confident in some organized severe weather, and all of that is going to be because of this kind of L you see on the map here. This is going to be a bit more of an organized low pressure system and not as much of just kind of an area of showers and storms that pop up. I think this will be quite organized. We'll see likely some cells develop and likely turn into a linear mode during Sunday evening and overnight. And if you look at the NAM model here, going into Sunday night, this is a nasty line of storms moving through the Appalachian area. So we'll definitely watch out for that. But folks in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, maybe even points southbound into Virginia and the Carolinas, as well as Tennessee, could see some really nasty storms on Sunday and Sunday night if this does verify. And I think it has a pretty good shot at verifying. So we'll definitely watch that. Again, Sunday could be quite a dangerous day. And of course, I'll have a video update for you Sunday morning to give you the latest on that threat. So the general pattern moving ahead, again, you'll notice this kind of red blob here will slowly shift off to the east. And with it, this is that pressure area that will ride on top of it going into Sunday, causing some severe weather for a lot of folks. And you'll notice those two work in tandem. This is through Sunday. You see that blue moving on through, bringing showers and storms with it. But once we get into Monday, we get kind of a bit of an interesting flow, and I'll show you this on the next model. Whatever's left of this blue on Monday is likely going to spin flow this way, and high pressure likely doing the same. So Monday could be one of those surprising days where the flow isn't west to east, but rather east to west. So we could get some storms to move in off the Atlantic onshore going into our Monday afternoon, so that will definitely be kind of interesting to see. And going into next week, looks hot, looks humid, and looks like there will be plenty of afternoon showers and storms to worry about with this general summertime pattern that we are dealing with. Now, showing this to you on the precipitation map, again, I'll move this into Sunday afternoon. Here's that area of severe weather I was talking about with those strong to severe storms. And going into next week, into our Monday, again, this is that flow I was talking about. Watch how some of these kind of areas of storms come in off the Atlantic and move inbound going into Monday afternoon and Tuesday afternoon. Could cause some interesting flow there for sure. Now, as we go through next week, that flow could stay that way for a prolonged period of time, so that could definitely help to keep things a little cooler at the beach here on the East Coast as we get kind of that, again, flow from the ocean inland, bringing some sea breeze with it. That could definitely maybe disrupt a little bit of those beach plans. We'll definitely have to watch out for that. But overall, next week is just going to be hot, muggy with afternoon thunderstorms, so pretty average summertime stuff here in store. And one big side effect of that are those very muggy conditions. So this is the dew point map, and as I move this through next week, notice these dew points don't budge. They really lock into place, so they bring that very muggy weather with it. And unfortunately, this is just going to cause some pretty uncomfortable, I guess is the word I'm looking for, weather for a lot of folks. But one thing I will note is this is pretty common for this time of year. So if you're kind of the summertime person, you like the muggy weather, which not many people I know do, but if you're that kind of person, then congratulations, next week is your week. Now, some good news for folks on the horizon. I think once we get past next week into the following time period, it does look to cool back down for a lot of folks in the east, and this, I'm sure, will be a welcome sight for a lot of people. And one reason for this is that increase in precipitation chances, which of course will help to bring in some clouds with it and some afternoon storms, and of course keep the general temperatures down. Of course, during the summertime, less sun you have, the cooler it is. So that's just kind of a general principle here to work off of. So, again, that's all I've got for you today. Hopefully, this was helpful. And, again, if there's any questions I didn't answer, feel free to ask me in the comments because I know this was kind of condensed and quick. But, of course, I wanted to get something out for you on this Friday. With that said, again, no video tomorrow because it is Saturday, and we take Saturdays off here so everyone can just go home and enjoy their first day of the weekend, including myself. I'll definitely be looking forward to that. But with that said, I hope you have a great rest of your Friday evening, and I will see you all on Sunday.